You're listening to Winnipeg's Classic 107. My name is Simon Rusnak. For 100 years, the Winnipeg Youth Orchestras have been providing young, aspiring Manitoba musicians with the opportunity to play symphonic music. Next week, the WYO celebrates its centennial with a gala performance at the Concert Hall. To hear more, I'm joined by conductor Andrea Bell. Welcome back to the show, Andrea.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's great to have you. And first off, congrats on the milestone achievement.
Yeah, it's very exciting. Youth Orchestra having its 100th anniversary is quite thrilling. We're the oldest youth orchestra in Canada. So that's kind of a cool thing in itself. And to celebrate, we're having a big concert with the Winnipeg Youth Symphony Orchestra, which is the senior orchestra that I conduct. We are joining the Winnipeg Symphony Orchestra, and we have invited alumni to join us as well. So there's going to be well over 130 people on stage, and we're playing Tchaikovsky's Symphony No. 4.
It is going to be quite the party, and I want to get to that party in a bit. But first, you mentioned something there. This is the oldest youth orchestra in Canada. Can you tell us a little bit more about the history of the WYO?
Yeah, for sure. So the orchestra it's had various names since its inception. And it was like Manitoba Schools Orchestra, and it had a few different names like that, and then did become the Winnipeg Youth Orchestra. And it started off as one small orchestra and then grew. And it's been three orchestras for quite some time. When I joined Youth Orchestra when I was 12, there was three orchestras, and it was the goal of all the students to just work their way up, and it was nice to be able to see the older students doing all sorts of cool things, and it was a life-changing thing for me. Certainly when I joined Youth Orchestra when I was 12, I thought this is probably the coolest thing I've ever done, and then basically it's been most of my life being with Youth Orchestra, other than a few years off to go to university, and then came back and started conducting. So it's an important part of my life.
You mentioned joining at the age of 12, and I mean, that a story that I'm sure many musicians share. It really does play a vital role in supporting young musicians, right?
It really does. Yeah, it's just such a great way to be able to play with other people. Often I talk to my pianist friends and they're like, oh, you guys got to do youth orchestra. We never got to play with other people as much, maybe duets or things like that. But playing in a group of 60 people where you've got this common goal, it really is just such a awesome team player thing. I always compare music to sport, where it's like we're a team. It's a really awesome team building experience, and being able to do something so creative together, it really is life changing for a lot of people. So.
And those musicians get to grow up through the orchestra. Like you say, there's three orchestras in the Winnipeg Youth Orchestras, plural: Youth Strings, Youth Concert, Youth Symphony, which you conduct. You've been with the organization, as you say, back in 1997, over a quarter of its own history. So going from being a young player at the age of 12 playing, and now playing this leading role as a conductor on the podium, what does it mean to you to be part of this 100th anniversary?
Yeah, it's very special to me. As I mentioned, youth orchestra has been a part of my life since I was a young person. And it was one of those things I remember thinking, this is something I could actually maybe do. I just remember thinking it was so awesome and exciting for me and I still have friends. So as soon as this orchestra, we were doing the reunion concert, the first thing I did was text all my buds that were in orchestra when we were kids, going, you're playing. So a bunch of the old gangs back together, and we're gonna sit in the back and be giggling away or something. I don't know. It's gonna be very fun because I'm gonna play too. So I'm not conducting this concert. Julian Pellicano is conducting the concert with symphony, and so I'm like, perfect, I'm gonna play. So very fun.
Yeah, getting the gang back together. You mentioned that the mass orchestra that's going to be happening, about 130 or so musicians on the stage.
Yeah, I think it's at least that.
Yeah, which is just a wild number. It's going to be such a fantastic, bold sound. You mentioned Tchaikovsky 4. I'm curious, why Tchaik 4? Is there a special significance to WYO?
No, I don't think so. It's just, I think it was one of those, let's play something epic and huge. And so everybody's just like, okay, let's do it. And can I tell you, I'm just so proud of my students, because at first when the repertoire was chosen, not by me, because I was thinking this is maybe pushing it a little bit too soon early in the season. My students sound amazing. I'm so proud of them. They sound fantastic. So they really are going to do a good job. It's going to be quite thrilling to play with symphony, because we used to play with, like, senior youth orchestra used to play with symphony every year, every other year, and that hasn't happened. COVID kind of killed that for a while. So I'm so glad we're getting to do it again, because it's just such an amazing experience for the students to sit beside the pros. It really just elevates the whole experience beyond belief. It's quite thrilling for the students.
You mentioned kind of navigating the last few years. It's been a while. Obviously, COVID threw a massive wrench into the mix. This an organization celebrating a milestone, a great achievement, and not one reached without challenge. What do you think it is about Winnipeg Youth Orchestra that has led to its success and its staying power?
Well, it's just, I think Winnipeg is a town, as we know, that loves the arts, and the arts are very important to us. And we've got lots of great musicians, lots of great teachers, and so it's encouraged. I really appreciate everybody encouraging their students to join. And most, like, I talk to my symphony friends, and they're all like, "Oh yeah, youth orchestra was well, that's what we did when we were teenagers. We were all going to youth orchestra and then going to the symphony on weekends in a gang of teenagers. So that was our fun and excitement. So it's a great community, and it really supports young musicians. So it's very exciting to see.
And the community coming together for this gala concert, the 100th gala concert that is taking place at the Centennial Concert Hall a week today. And ahead of the gala concert, there's going to be a special WYO 100th anniversary fundraiser reception at the Red River Princess campus. Really an opportunity for alumni and supporters to get together again, right?
Totally. I would encourage everybody to come to that party. It's going to be so lovely to see everybody, see old friends. There's conductors from way back when that are coming. Cindy Raxter was my youth strings conductor way back when. She's coming. I'm super excited to see her. Lots of great people coming in from out of town. Lots of, professional musicians that did grow up through youth orchestra. So it's fun to see, and lots of, so former conductors are coming, musicians. It's going to be a great party. So I would encourage anybody, if you'd had anything to do with youth orchestra, you should definitely come to the party and come to the concert. It's going to be lots of fun. Yeah,
there's still time to purchase those tickets, which includes a tax receipt, I might add. The cutoff is Thursday the 19th. And the WIO is also trying to put together a registry. And you mentioned anyone listening right now who is maybe a part of the Winnipeg Youth Orchestra, they're an alum, encouraging them to get in touch, right?
Totally. It's such a great community. It's nice to stay in touch, and hopefully we can have more of these kind of events. This seems like a big one that we're kind of trying to do. So, maybe we can do it again soon, and it would be great to have more opportunities like that. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, a great way to embark on the second century of the Winnipeg Youth Orchestras. Yeah. What an incredible achievement this is, Andrea. Thanks so much for taking the time to join me and tell us a little bit about what's planned next week.
Thanks so much for having me. I'm super excited about it.
And you can find more details up at classic107.com under the events tab, or head to Winnipeg Youth Orchestras with an S.ca.